Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. With 0 hour upon the horizon, I thought it'd be a great time to do a full breakdown on the lore of Chapter 6. A full in-depth breakdown of the entire chapter, from character to lore. Let's begin. Our story begins in Prelude, where after defeating Doctor Doom, Hope has had a vision from Pandora's box itself that it's connected to something bigger, and Hope and Jones have to go find it. After activating a Rift Beacon, or a Stark Rift Beacon, in Risky Reels, a rift opens up and they jumped in, arriving on the Remix, the Prelude, a Chapter 2 remix map that has, instead of Midas's spies, they're all rappers. After being through a concert, we end up arriving on Oninoshima, Reality 713. Oninoshima is the land of hopes, dreams, and magic. Let's give a bit of backstory on Oninoshima. Oninoshima is like any place in the universe, but this one is the home of the Fox Clan and the River Guard. Decades before even arriving on this island, there was a war by the name of the Shattering War, where the River Guard and the Fox Clan would fight. In order to get an advantage on the River Guard, the Fox Clan would make magical masks of power from an ancient mask maker who would use dark, demonic, spirit realm magic to make them more powerful. The more powerful the Fox Clan got, the more it was tearing the island apart. Eventually, the Fox Clan would be defeated and all their magical masks would be destroyed, and magic would be banished from the island for good. Demonic realm energy would be sent into the spirit realm and all portals would be deactivated. And the Fox Clan would go into hiding and leave the island. Which is why the River Guard and Fox Clan don't like each other in the present day, due to the Shattering War. This Shattering War was so important to Oninoshima because of its events and its correlation to what's happening right now. You see, it was such a massive impact on the island that magic was fully banned from the island, and anyone attempting to use magic would probably be exiled. But this is where we're introduced to our favourite spirit siblings, Kendo, Daigo, and Jade. A bit of backstory. Kendo is a local boy who lives around the island trying to discover his destiny, believing that there's more to his life than just simply learning. But he doesn't know what it is, so he's simply walking around the island not knowing what to do. Jade is obsessed with sprites and loves to learn about the magic of the island. Basically, she loves everyone and wants to be friends with everyone, but she's also very invested in the island's history. That also goes for the older brother, Daigo, the most important character to Chapter 6 to date. You see, he's interested in the past. He runs his grandfather's mask shop that used to run the magical masks of power, but now only runs normal masks. He's obsessed with the past and wants to learn more about its history. But unfortunately, with magic being banned, he has no way of doing that. Until something hits the island, activating magic across the island, reactivating portals allowing demons to once again walk across the land. Hope and Jones eventually arrive on the island and investigate the crash site of this unknown object that has activated all the portals. They then meet Kendo, Jade, and Daigo, who are very confused why magic has suddenly reappeared. Throughout the portal, an unknown enemy arises. Shogun X, along with his general or commander at the time, Night Rose. Night Rose is a powerful warrior, skilled in martial arts. A powerful demon who has commanded the army for centuries, but also has a tragic past. You see, she's not commanding the demons because she wants to. She's bounded to the puppeteer. The puppeteer who is actually being controlled by Shogun X, who is also bounded to the spirit realm in order to serve it for all eternity. They are both bound by solitude and must follow the orders of someone in the spirit realm. Once they arrive upon the island, Shogun X immediately starts draining the island of this unknown energy and also its magic. For what purposes, we don't know yet. Night Rose takes solitude in one of the temples and sets up there. Hope and Jones decide to investigate the magic and take a fight with the demons. While being in the fight, Jade gets cursed by one of the demons. Her older brother Daigo gives her a magical mask of power to protect herself, only for her to be trapped in the spirit realm. Daigo, seeing this as his fault, decides to take it upon himself to rescue his sister, and reawakens underneath the basement. He uses a machine that transfers sprite energy into dark magic, reactivating magic once more. Building more masks of power, he eventually decides that he's going to use these masks to open a portal and rescue Jade herself. Kendo, who is suspicious of his older brother, decides to go to Hope and Jones, who are now investigating this strange energy that's seemingly activated all of its magic. Hope and Jones are being very secretive about this object and won't actually tell us what it is, and us as Lupus just have to go along with it. As the weeks go on, we continue to fight against the demons, investigating the magic and eventually finding splinters of 0-point energy. If it wasn't obvious now, the object that landed from space is none other than the 0-point itself, a shard of pure reality, and because of it landing on the island, splinters of itself fell off. They use these splinters to create blades in order to fight against the puppeteer, who might be able to help us get Jade out of the spirit realm. After freeing her from the puppeteer, we fight her in a massive fight, finally breaking her ties with the puppeteer. She's free. After centuries of bondage, she can finally do what she wants. And with that, becomes an interesting story character. You see, after being freed, she doesn't really know what to do with her life. She's been bounded for years by Shogun X. Now, she's just a demon, casted out from her realm, and without a purpose, just like Kendo. After getting the splinter blade, she decides to give him to Daigo, who has his plan to use the magical masks of power to break into the spirit realm. Since Hope and Jones have no idea how to get her out, they have to trust Daigo to do it. Even though they might not trust his methods, they have no choice. So, Daigo sits outside a spirit realm portal, meditating. A few days go by and Daigo gets more and more corrupted by the spirit realm energy. And eventually he realizes that he's the only one who can save the island, because he feels the 0-point shard's power within the spirit realm and doesn't trust us, or Jones, or Hope for its power. Basically, this is when the true story begins. You see, the spirit realm is influencing Daigo, corrupting him into making these decisions. After combining all the masks of power, he uses them to grab Jade out of the spirit realm. Before she can be finally free, Shogun X grabs her and pulls her back in and emerges from the spirit realm. With all the energy he's built up, he goes toe-to-toe with Daigo. But using the mask of power he has, they use it to emerge in a massive titans and start to fight. Unfortunately, Daigo is no match for Shogun X, who has been training for years and is a master in combat. So, Daigo has to use the splinter blades and combines them into one blade, cutting off his arm and then slicing him, killing Shogun X. The energy erupts and ends up destroying him, flooding back into the spirit realm portal, overloading it with gold. Jade is finally free, but it's then revealed that while she was in the spirit realm isn't necessarily evil, but there is something there. Something dark, something evil. A dark presence lurks in the spirit realm. Jade doesn't know what it is, but it knows it wants her, her family, and especially Daigo. Daigo disappears after the fight with Shogun X, with the siblings getting worried. With gold spilling out all over the island, who knows what will happen next. This is when we enter Chapter 2, Season 2. Lawless. A wealthy businessman by the name of Kane has arrived on the island to steal all the gold of Oninoshima, immediately setting up his task force to immediately get all the gold and put it in banks. also taxing the island, because why not? Because Fortnite really needed taxes on this in the game, didn't it? Kain starts mobilizing his men and searching the island for an individual. After getting all the gold he wants, he makes a deal with an unknown sponsor. With the island finally getting tired with his taxes, his laws, and basically stealing all the gold, they decide to finally fight back. Then arise the Outlaws, a group of bandits who are most notorious for just committing crimes. But they finally had enough of Kain and decided to take the fight to him. After robbing him for weeks on end, it's then revealed that Kain is working with a mysterious benefactor, giving him and transporting gold. Hope and Jones don't really know what to do now, since at the moment there's not much they can do. The shard is inside the spirit realm, and with no way in, they just have to simply sit back and wait for an opportunity to arise. And although Night Rose is a demon, she can't necessarily get them in. Once a portal's been deactivated, it's impossible without dark magic to reactivate it. So they're basically stuck with no options until something pops up. Kendo is also feeling depressed, feeling like he hasn't done anything and feeling like he's just sitting on the sidelines. As Jade was once captured, he couldn't do anything but sit there and wait for Daigo to do something. Jade is also particularly worried about her brother. After being in the spirit realm, she realizes how powerful its corruption can be on someone, and is worried that its influence that Daigo has now had is corrupting his vision. She worries that if they don't find him soon, he could do something reckless and hurt himself. By the end of the season, it's revealed that who Kain is hunting is none other than Midas, who has finally returned after disappearing in Chapter 5. He reveals that he's here to defeat Kain and also get the shard for himself. So he's teamed up with Hope and Jones, even though he doesn't want to. Midas and Jones have a close history, so although they don't trust each other, they know they have to work together, since they know what happens when powerful people get their hands on a 0-point shard. So they team up. With the Outlaws on their side, they cripple Kain's empire, who then he eventually goes into crypto, because why not? After being robbed of all his money by a crypto scan, it's revealed that he's working with Daigo. Yes, Daigo, who is now working in his shop underground again, has activated the ominous mask of power and is going to use that to get into the spirit realm. With the help of Kain's gold, he's going to use Kintsugi to reforge a portal and go in himself. They've made a deal. Kain offers him gold, and in return he gets him the 0-point shard, since Kain some reason wants it. How he knows about the 0-point shard, who knows, but he wants it. Daigo orders Kain to guard him while he activates the portal. With his crippled empire, he has no choice. So, our final attack on them. As we arrive upon Daigo, who's activating a portal, we fight Kain in a massive battle. After seeing Kain lose, Daigo betrays him, leaving him behind, activating the portal, grabbing his 0-point blades and jumping into the spirit realm. And this is when he confronts the Dark Presence himself. Within seconds, he's instantly corrupted and now the new puppeteer to his dark plans. The Dark Presence is a omnipotent, powerful being. Now, although we don't know what he looks like, we see a puppet mask immediately take control of Daigo. After crippling Kain's empire, it's very obvious that Kain is now put out of business. With Daigo now gone, we now simply have to wait. The portal starts overloading itself, activating a massive rift in the sky. We don't know what's coming, but we know something bad is coming. And we also know that Daigo's been corrupted because Big Dill and the hot dog guy tried to rob his store, and they immediately get jumped by him, showing that he's been corrupted. With a massive rift now in the sky, something comes through it. And this something is none other than the Death Star. Yes, Emperor Palpatine has located Oni-no-Shima and has brought the Death Star along with his entire fleet and plans to destroy the entire island. Why? Who knows? Palpatine likes to destroy the island. The Resistance also comes with him. As the Resistance sets foot on the island, they have a plan to destroy the Death Star, with Princess Leia leading the charge. Hope and Jones have joined the Resistance. Kendo, Daigo, Midas have all disappeared for the season since, it's a collab season, they're not needed. Although Jade does feel bad that her brother has disappeared, and also Kendo is now also depressed once again. They both feel like they can't do anything, and they feel like they've lost their brother to a darkness. They have no idea what's happened to him, only they know he's in the spirit realm. With this, the Emperor begins his attack on the island, bombing it with a Star Destroyer. The Resistance builds up a plan and attacks the Death Star. Hope and Jones go on to a small shuttle and prepare to infiltrate the Death Star and sabotaging it, allowing the Rebel Alliance to destroy it from the inside. They get on the Death Star and they start destroying stuff, deactivating cannons, turrets, and eventually make it to a main room where Palpatine rises from the floor and starts attacking us. In a massive, unfair fight, by the way, Palpatine easily destroys us and uses his Sith lightning to absolutely destroy us. With some quick thinking from Hope, she throws a rift to go into his Sith lightning, and we're rifted off the Death Star. The Rebel Alliance comes in and blows up the Death Star. In a moment of a few victories, we celebrate, and as soon as we start celebrating, it comes to an end as debris from the Death Star lands upon the island, smacking a spirit realm portal, which immediately sends out a 0-point shockwave, and this is when we get into Chapter 6, Season 3, Supernova. With the Death Star being destroyed, debris comes from the island, destroying a spirit realm portal, sending out a massive shockwave that hits a battle bus full of students, giving them 0-point powers. Superman luckily was in an area after being flung into a rift, I think. He saves them and decides to stick around. Hope and Jones decide to open a Supernova Academy to train these new superheroes, as unfortunately, with the emergence of this 0-point portal, a unfortunate foe has returned. Daigo, now the Mask Maker, has now returned to the island in full attempts to corrupt the island and take its magic. Using Overlord spires from a different realm, from the realm of the Storm King, who, by the way, the Storm King, if you don't know, is connected to the last reality, or theorized to be working with them. Just thought I'd let you know that, for future references. Overlord spires start attacking the island, and massive spires start draining the island of its magic, powering up Demon's Domain, which is where Daigo is currently residing at. Fully under control of the Dark Presence, Jade and his brother Kendo cannot believe seeing their brother in this unfortunate state. After coming to the realization that it's not actually him, they decide to help Hope and Jones train the Supernova Academy. Night Rose, Superman, Robin, Hope, Jones all decide to start training the Supernovas for the upcoming fight against Daigo. Let's introduce them to some of the members. Morgan Mist, someone with a dark power who can summon crows to attack you. Unfortunately, what she lacks in leadership, she rises in power. You see, she's not very confident in her ability to lead. Hope sees potential in her, but she doesn't perceive potential in herself. We then have Light Rider, who has the power of the Reboot Van Cubes, who can use them to ride around. She's just a total, in nice words, she's not very nice to people and believes she's better than everyone else. Then we have Storm Beast, who relies too much on her actual power. Haley Sky, aka Storm Beast, relies too much on her actual beast than actual skills. Kill Switch, a teacher's pet who basically sucks up to every teacher in the Supernova Academy. Ziggy, the biggest bum you'll ever meet in Fortnite history, who sells edibles to teachers. Yep. Synthwave, a DJ who uses her synthwave powers in shockwave powers. Very interesting. She's just not very confident in herself. That's really it. That's the level of detail we get from this character. Point is, they all band together as a little team. They all have their flaws, and throughout the season, they have to grow as a person. Morgan Mist doesn't trust Hope because she believes she's hiding something, and after doing some investigation, she finds a vault type thing in Unova City, which, once she activates using a sprite, Midas emerges and reveals that, yes, he is the one funding Supernova Academy in Utopia City. You see, they've realised once they get the shard, they won't know what to do with it. So Midas has built a vault to the 0 Point Vault. If you don't remember that, it was from OG. They've brought it back. You see, once they get the shard, they're going to store it in the 0 Point Vault. Since Hope doesn't trust Midas fully, they've decided to work together on this and keep it a secret. Morgan relays this information back to Hope, who is impressed that she found out, giving her more reason to make her the leader. In a surprise attack by Daigo, the demons attack Supernova Academy, causing them to retreat from the Supernova building. Right now, tensions are up and they're a bit unhappy with how things have gone. Hope reminds them that they still need to fight, as Daigo is still a main threat, and right now he's getting more powerful by the day passes. More spires are draining the island of its magic, making Demon's Domain even more powerful. And of course Core, who is also here. Forgot to mention her. The reason I don't mention her is because even though she's a core villain in this, she doesn't do anything other than be a lieutenant for the demons. She's not really relevant after this season, so I didn't feel the need to mention her. After a few weeks, we still continue to fight the demons. Superman gives a heroic speech about heroism, and we all get back on our feet. The day has finally come. Daigo has built up enough magic from Oni no Shima to begin a ritual. After emerging from the basement of his building, he activates a portal, which emerges a giant tentacle squid. This squid is none other than the Dark Presence itself. Loaded up on 0 Point energy, it immediately starts attacking the island. Not before slapping Daigo away, because now that it's on the island, it no longer needs him. It was only using Daigo to get up on the island, and once it was out of the spirit realm, it slaps him away. The supernovas arrive on the scene and start fighting it. Unfortunately, their attacks are not doing much, and although they're fighting as much as they can, they are no match for the Dark Presence. They're able to do enough damage to the point where it retreats into the spirit realm again, only to emerge with 3 different tentacles. The 0 Point tentacle is just no match for us, and we fall. Right as it's getting ready to destroy the island with a shockwave-based attack, Superman comes in, chops off the tentacle, and defeats the dark tentacles, sending it back into the spirit realm, making the Dark Presence retreat into the spirit realm for now, not before flying away and leaving us with a tentacle. We have won, or have we? The tentacle now oozing out blood, bugs start to mutate, and that's where we get into Chapter 6, Season 4. Shock and Awesome. It seems bugs have emerged from this unfortunate tentacle coming from the spirit realm itself and immediately start invading the island. We stand little to no chance against them, and they immediately overrun the island and basically are on their way to destroy the island. Not before the OXR arrive. The OXR are the Onimorph Extermination Squad. Basically, their entire thing is exterminating bugs. It seems they've done this before, since these creatures are called Onimorphs, and they've existed long before us. To those people believing that the bugs are actually mutated from the actual tentacle, no. These bugs are actually from the spirit realm itself. It seems the tentacle has just allowed them to cross over into the actual realm. They're able to create portals and just cross into the actual realm itself. So, with that clarification, Queen bugs start arriving on the island and basically take over the island, getting ready to destroy it. The OXR immediately start preparing gear like the lead spinner, which, if you ever run into, ruins your day. Along with that, they also create an airstrike, which if you also run into, ruins your day. The OXR love making equipment that basically ruins your day if you're playing the actual game. After weeks of fighting these bugs, they immediately start getting over on us, and we seem to be winning. With the help of the Mechazord and the Power Rangers, we start fighting back. Now to our heroes. You see, after Daigo was kicked out of the Dark Presence's influence, he realizes he's made a massive mistake and decides to join Team Hope in the Spirit Realm siege. Kendo is now once again depressed, but has decided to stop being depressed because he realizes that destiny isn't going to wait around for him to discover it, he's going to discover it. So he abandons his ninja attire and becomes a Ronin. Jade, who is just happy to see her brother again, realizes that the inevitable is going to happen and the Dark Presence is eventually going to make its way onto the island. Night Rose is terrified every day as the barrier between the realms are getting thinner and it's only a matter of time before it's shattered and he arrives on the island. Hope and Jones have acquired a severed piece of the tentacle and are going to use it to study and find a way into the spirit realm. The OXR are more focused on the bugs right now, but they're still helping them out. They're currently underneath the Supernova Academy researching it with the help of Dr. Theodore, who is a member of the OXR. The OXR members are OXR Winter, Agent Patch, and Sergeant Winter, or Sergeant, I can't say his name right, but basically if you know this guy, he was once in OG. Maybe he's the son or the ancestor, who knows. Point is, he's here. With that, they fight against the bugs with the help of the Mechazord and help them retreat into the spirit realm. Theodore finds that weird since the bugs were well on their way to destroy the island and they don't see this as a win but more of a calm before the storm. With the island's corruption getting worse, a small tree has suddenly arrived upon the island. No one knows what it is, but as it grows, 0 Point energy emerges from it, and Hope and Jones decide that they don't have time for a Spirit Realm siege. They're going to have to take the fight to it. Grabbing some 0 Point daggers off Daigo, grabbing the OXR squad, and getting ready to close the rift forever, they activate a small little launch pad area to prepare for the oncoming closing. Hope and Jones arrive upon the scene only to be met with two aliens by the name of Kronos and Kronos. So if I butcher the name, I'm not a big Simpsons guy. They are basically here spying on us throughout the weeks, you know, just keeping an eye on us. Hope and Jones arrive upon the scene with a upgraded rift device, which Jones still has on him. He uses it to basically seal the Dark Presence away. Unfortunately, this only makes it worse, as the bugs have done enough damage to the island to weaken the veil, and the Dark Presence is able to arrive upon the island. Immediately, once upon arriving the island, he immediately slaps the island into commission, and the real fight begins. The two aliens are immediately in love with the Dark Presence and want to help him by firing upon Hope and Jones and abducting them. After some quick thinking from Hope, she's able to take control of the spaceship and uses it to fire upon the Dark Presence. The Dark Presence then grabs them and prepares to throw them into the interdimensional wormhole. Jones notices a 0 Point shard. After using a tractor beam on it, he throws it into the portal, but Hope is able to grab a piece of 0 Point and flings it into the realm portal. Now the Dark Presence is on Oninoshima and we have been flung into an interdimensional portal, leaving Kendo, Jade, Night Rose and the OXR to fend for themselves. In other words, if we don't get back soon, we are cooked. The aliens are now fighting over whether to go back to Springfield or Oninoshima, and Hope tries to fight with them in order to get back. Unfortunately, their fighting ends up recalibrating the ship's navigational system, and we end up combining the two ideal islands into one. For some clarification, Oninoshima has not been combined with Springfield, it's just the two islands have been kind of combined into one. They're still the same things. Once they arrive upon the island, a battle bus crashes into the spaceship and the shard drops into Springfield Island. Hope and Jones immediately go looking for it, only for the shard to land into Homer Simpson's hand, who wants to use it to perfect Springfield in his own ways. After using it to perfect Springfield, the people get tired as he's using it to make donuts running from the sky, and Hope and Jones aren't having any luck with getting it back. So the mob decide to go after him. Hope and Jones really need that shard back before it's too late, as the Dark Presence is going to destroy the island before they can even get back. In typical Homer fashion, he drops it into a nuclear power plant and falls into it, making an army of 0 Point clones which start invading Springfield Island. The police do as much as they can and fight back, with killing a multiple different bunches of homers, which sends them into the atmosphere, creating a 0 Point cloud. This then turns him into a massive homer because his body is still bloated with 0 Point energy. He then decides to leave the island and sulk in the ocean, where Hope offers him a proposition. She comes back with he comes back with them to Oninoshima to fight the Demon Master, where his name is actually dropped from Dark Presence to Demon Master, the real name of the Dark Presence. Homer doesn't want to until his wife reminds him to do chores, so he comes with us. He gives up the shard, and that's where the story currently ends. Now we're preparing to enter 0 Hour. Right now, we're in an interesting state. Since a lot of Chapter 7 has been leaked, we know the 7 are coming back. We know we're going to be having a massive fight against the Demon Lord. And to be perfectly honest, I could not explain how excited I am for this. But this has been Chapter 6 storyline fully told to you. I hope this has been helpful to you. I hope this has been educational enough so you're caught up for the full story for when we enter the 0 Hour live event. But this will not be my only video today. I'll be making a few more. But I really hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.